your body isn't fucked, it's just not currently prepared for the sports and activities that you love to do. This is what we're going to talk about today. Very big topic for people who have journeys similar to myself and pretty much most clients as well, where you're doing the usual stuff, you're doing the rounds, going to physios, going to chiropractors, going to healthcare professionals, and not really getting much progress, and then at the end of it, usually been told that, that's it, time to settle. You can't go back and do the things that you love to do, your body isn't able to do it. That's not the truth. The truth is, just like we've said there, body isn't fucked. It's just not currently prepared for the things that you're trying to do. So obviously what we need to do is learn how to prepare it to be able to do the stuff that we want to do. But we're going to delve into that topic now and just show you why that doesn't make any sense. For most problems, it can come down to like belief issues, skill issues, will issues, like around motivation. We need to attack the beliefs first. Until we actually change the beliefs that you have around the body, around thinking, oh, I can't get back to do things that I love to do. I've been trying for 5 or 10 years, it's not happening, there's nothing I can do. If we don't change those beliefs first, nothing else is going to matter, okay? So that's what we're going to get at today. So I suppose, first of all, a little bit of an intro. So, I suppose I feel like I'm repeating myself all the time, but someone could be watching this for the first time and not knowing my story. But yeah, like very quickly on that. So that's my experience as well. I've done the rounds, basically been told after 10 years to like settle, body's not able to do the things that I love to do anymore, which was jiu-jitsu and strength training in the gym. I would get pain doing both of those things, and I gave them both up for, I can't remember exactly, roughly 9 months to a year. So yeah, if I settled for that, you wouldn't be watching this video, and I never would have got back to those things. But now I'm back doing jiu-jitsu, and purple belts in jiu-jitsu now, and I gave it up at white belt, so that would have been the end of my journey, but we were pushing on, and yeah, doing stuff in strength training I never thought possible for me, close to one arm chin up now, and done things like handstand push-ups where I could never do any of that stuff before because I'd always get injured trying to train. So yeah, that's kind of my background and how I ended up delving into all of this. So I suppose the first part, I'm just referring to, I do a newsletter every week now on a topic and delve really deep into it, because on things like Instagram, you can't go very deep on topics. Like I put out a lot of content on Instagram, do my best to make it detailed, which it is massively compared to most accounts, which is more flashy stuff. But for people like the younger me who really want to learn and improve, get back to physical freedom, learn more about themselves, have more of an authentic life and do things you want to do, you're going to have to take ownership and start diving into topics. If you just keep picking up surface level bits and pieces, you're not going to get much progress. You need to go deep on these things, hence the very detailed newsletter and these YouTube videos for people who want to do that. So I'm just going to pick out a few of the parts from the newsletter here. I'll link the newsletter in the bottom if you want to go through it in full detail and get the most out of it. I'd recommend reading that, but I'm just going to go through a few points here. So the first one was, we're led to believe that these diagnoses that we get are death sentences. I've had 5 different ones, from 4 from my hips, 1 from my back, and yeah, when I knew nothing about the body back then, it's like a death sentence. You're like, oh Jesus, well, yeah, maybe I am fucked. I have one leg's longer than the other, anterior pelvic tilt, scoliosis in my spine, all these types of things, and then you're just led to believe that that's it. Time to give things up. So as I was saying, it's like you go to an expert, you get a diagnosis, you get a fix to fix the diagnosis, then you usually do that stuff, but it's not working. So then you think, the diagnosis, this is what's wrong with me, I'm trying the fix isn't fixing the problem, so I must be broken, it must be my body, there must be something wrong with me, like this should be working. And this is the start of the problem. This is literally, this is the problem right here, the way we're thinking about it, it's not actually true. Like we're viewing the body here like it's a computer with a broken part. It has a bug and we just need the fix for the bug and then everything's okay. It's like Humpty Dumpty, he fell off the wall, we just need a bit of glue him back together and he's going to be grand. Like, this is not how the human body works at all. But through this information being given to us by experts, people we look up to and just believe that they know everything on the body, this influences our beliefs and the way we view the body, and that's what we believe. That's what I believed, that I needed this fix, but it wasn't happening, so I don't know if I'm going to get out of this now because the experts can't fix me. I've gone to 5 different ones, and some, one of them at the time was working on the Irish rugby team, someone else was like head physio for the Irish rowing team, like really, really good practitioners, and it wasn't working for me. So, I'm saying all this stuff to resonate with people like myself who'll be like, Jesus, that's a very similar experience to what I'm going through. So that's the start of the problem, and this leads to a long list of issues. Things like, just like I mentioned there, we now have beliefs on the human body that aren't true, and this is messing everything up going forward. It's just like, I'm not going to go into that topic of religion, but just like, it's like I believe in God and someone's trying to convince me, around the more evolution and scientific view and that God isn't real. Am I going to believe that? Is anything they say going to help me if I'm like 1000% God is real, that's it, that's my belief? I'm not going to listen to anything they say. So it's the same thing here with the body. You just need to be open-minded and, follow the results, as I say, make up your own mind on these things. But you need to be open-minded to the fact that what some people are telling you may not be the truth. And I just ask yourself, how long have you tried it for? If you've listened to these things you've internalized as beliefs and they're not helping you 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, do you think it's going to change after another year? You need to open your mind and be open to new ways of thinking, to new beliefs, new opportunities. So yeah, that the beliefs is a huge one, which is why I kind of went into it a little bit there. But then we've no education on the body. We don't know how the body works. We don't understand how our own body works. So how are we ever going to take back control? The nocebo effect is at play here massively. Then you probably know what the placebo effect is, where your positive thinking towards something can actually influence the outcome, scientifically proven. The opposite of that is called nocebo, where if you think negatively about things, you have negative beliefs on them, this will help influence a negative outcome. And that's huge. Like, we're all being noceboed like mad from and it's not everyone, there's good and bad practitioners in everything, but from a lot of the healthcare practitioners, at least in my own experience, I was noceboed like mad. And this is a huge part of the problem, because that leads into your beliefs around the body, so you're not going to get out of it, and then also pain levels and things like that, and your quality of life, your self-efficacy is going way down through this nocebo effect. And then the last two, it's like you're trapped in a prison searching for the wrong answer. You keep looking for this fix, for that fix, for this fix, for that fix, but as I said, we're not a computer, we're not Humpty Dumpty needs a bit of glue. Like, this isn't how the body works. So the answer you think you're going to find, first of all, it's not there. Second of all, if it was there, it's not the answer anyway. It's not going to be the root cause of what's going on with your own body and getting back control. So pretty much like I said there, the last point, it's taking the locus of control away from you and putting it on someone else to fix you. This is true for mobility, but also for life. If that's how you view problems, you are always going to feel lost. You are never going to feel like safe and that you have control over your life if you give the locus of control away to other people. You can think about that for every area of your life. Oh, I had a bad relationship, that was their fault. Now they have all the control. I'm not going to change anything about myself because I was perfect. It was all them. I'm going to have the same relationship issues going forward for the rest of my life. Same in business. Oh, I failed in business. That was my business partner's problem. I'm giving him the control. It was all his fault. He can change things if he wants. I was perfect. I'm not going to change anything. I'll still have the same business problems. Same with the body. I don't know anything about my body or how it's working, but he didn't fix me. It's his fault. Maybe I'll go to him. He might fix me. He might fix me. It's their fault. It's their problem. Poor me. You're going to keep doing the same thing over and over on a loop, and you're never going to get back control over your body. And this was me. This isn't having to go at anyone. This is, how would I'd be a hypocrite because that's what I did. And I'm just trying to show you that it didn't work. It doesn't work. So we need to take ownership and start taking back control. And to do this, we need the proper education. We need to change the beliefs. So they're all intermingled together, but there's a big list of issues there of what's going wrong, stemming from us thinking that we're broken and we need to be fixed. So as I was saying, where does it lead? Leads to giving up things you love to do and not getting progress, or at least, again, that's my own experience. That's the experience of pretty much 90% of the clients that come to me, same experience. The last bit on that section, what I realized then through that experience, and it had to be made so obvious for me for the penny to drop. The last 5 experts that I went and I told them all the exact same thing, the exact same symptoms, like the pain, the hip pain, the back pain, the knee and the neck, and exactly kind of where it was happening and all of this kind of stuff. Told them the exact same stuff because I had it written down. each one of the 5 experts gave me a different diagnosis. So, and it's not like I went to 2 and they both said different things. You'd be like, it's like, no, I went to 5, told them the exact same thing. Each one of those 5 gave me a different diagnosis of what's wrong with my body. So, it's only when I kind of eventually came home from all that and just started thinking about it more critically, which I hadn't done before, because I was like, they know everything. Then I was just getting no progress. The last one was just like, look, it's time to settle. Like, you can't really do anything. And then I'm just thinking, that makes absolutely no sense. If they really were the experts, why aren't they all telling me the same thing? Why aren't they all giving me the same diagnosis? They all told me different ones. So the big realization there was, nobody knows everything. This was the start of me taking any sort of expert down off a pedestal and just realizing everyone's human. There's no divine knowledge here. They don't know everything. And then the big realization that I was telling myself is, all anyone can give you is their opinion. That's all they're actually giving me. That's why I got 5 different diagnoses, because they were opinions and people have different opinions. So all anyone can give you is their opinion, but it's based on their education and their experience. Okay, so they're giving you their opinion, and it's an expert opinion. Like, it is a much better opinion than someone off the street, obviously. So it's an expert opinion, but it's just based on their education and their experience. So people will have different education. Maybe it's a physio, maybe it's a chiropractor, maybe it's a doctor, different education, and they'll have different experience. Their own life experience, did they actually go through it themselves? A lot of them I went to, I would assume not, just from the way they interacted with me. So they can have different education, they can have different experiences, and between the two of those, that's where their opinion comes from. So once I realized that, I was like, that makes so much more sense. This is why I'm going to different people. Everyone's kind of approaching it differently. There seems to be no trend here of what they think is the problem. So hopefully that's shattering it for you as well, that there is no real expert on it. Everyone's just trying to give you their opinion to help you based on their education and experience. That's all I'm doing as well. I don't know everything. I'm just trying to do it from my experience of going through the whole thing, and then educating myself in different ways than the other people that I went to, and then I'm giving you my opinion now based off this. So to move on to the next section then of like, okay, the body isn't a machine, we're not Humpty Dumpty. What is it then? How does it work? You need to understand that the human body, it's not a machine, it's an adaptable organism. So that's what humans are. We're adaptable organisms, which just means that we adapt and we change based on the environment. So this is how it's been since the beginning of humans, like 6 million years ago, all the way up to now. Humans have adapted and changed based on the environment that we're in. That's how humans actually work. So, like, why that's so important is you need to understand, if we go back to the problem, it's like, I'm broken, I need to be fixed. I can't change. Like, that's essentially what we're being told is the problem. It's like, you're in pain now, you can't do the sport that you want to do. You can't change. I was just told in different words, like, it's time to settle. Well, that just means, it's time to settle because you can't change this. So that's what the problem we're being given is like, look, you've tried things, you can't change. Whereas in reality, in terms of how the human body works, the only one thing that is the truth, the only one thing that is constant is change. So it's the fucking exact opposite of what we're being told. Like, in the whole world, there's one thing that I can be certain of. Change. That's the whole world. The weather. Try and stop the weather. That's going to change with the seasons. Business. The stock market. Society. Your friend. Your partner. Your body. Your mindset. The only constant in the world is change. We can't actually stop change. Once you truly understand that, you can just go back and just, pause and just think about that for a second, because once you understand that, you'll see how most stuff we're told is bullshit. Like, we're told, oh, you can't change. In actual fact, the only one thing we can be certain of in this world is that it's going to change. From the macro to the micro level, from society, politics, the economy, all the way down to you as an individual human and your body and the cells, they are going to change. And it changes based on the environment. So, like a little quick example here to make sense of this for you. We have two kids, they're 5 years old. For the next 5 years until they're 10, one kid is taken and he's putting into a more modern life, just go to school, come home, play video games for 5 hours in the evening. He's going to do that for 5 years. The other kid, which could also be a modern life, is for 5 years after school, he's going to go to gymnastics 3 to 5 times a week. Put them there for 5 years. Little Q&A. Who's going to be healthier, more mobile, stronger, have their physical freedom at 5 years later? I think we know it's him, But then see, you need to say why. Why would he be, more mobile, have less aches and pains, stronger compared to this other guy? It's just the environment. It's just the environment that we've placed them in. That's what creates the change in the body. So it's nothing to do with the kids. It's nothing to do with him or his body or whatever. It's to do with the environment that we place them in. The body will just adapt to the environment. So, it's the same with our bodies and our injuries. It's just this modern life environment and playing sports and not looking after our body. The environment has made us change to the point that we're at where we don't want to be. So, if the environment has created the change, made us adapt negatively, what can we do? We can change the environment. We can change the things we're doing with our body every single day and start to make a change to the positive environment through mobility, through prioritizing your body, just like your teeth, doing little routines and stuff at least twice a day, and obviously doing harder ones for your current limitations. So it's just to burst that bubble of if you're being told to give up things, and look, there obviously will be a small percent of very, very serious injuries and stuff where maybe you won't get back to where you were, but we can always improve from where we're at. The thing of time to settle or you can't change, that's false. The only truth in the world and even in your body is that it's going to change into the future. So you have two choices: keep changing negatively like you are, or actually start to understand all this stuff and now start to change positively. So that's where you're at now. Okay, so whether you were up here, now you're way down here, you still have two options. Are you going to start going back up this way, or are you going to start continuing to go in the wrong direction? Okay, so that's why it doesn't matter if you're 1 year into it, you're 10 years into it, whatever, more down here like I was, you can always turn the tide and start changing positively. So what else was there? And I suppose another important point there was, we think this stuff has happened overnight. Why do I feel so tight and stiff? And just got up today and I played a match and geez, I feel like an old man. That hasn't happened overnight. Just like I said, this is a build-up over years and decades of you changing and adapting negatively based on the environment that you give your body. It's not by chance. See, we don't just wake up someday and an injury yesterday has made me feel all this stuff. It's no, this is a constant build-up over years because you don't know that your body has changed and that you can do something about it. So I wrapped it up then with an analogy. Look, I'll leave you with an analogy. If you're kind of what the hell is Mark on about, I'll explain it through the analogy of a car journey. This is just how I thought of it myself. Whenever I'm learning something, I always try to attach an analogy to it for myself, because analogies are what stick with us. We're humans, we love stories, and stories stick with us a lot better than just plain facts of science. So this analogy always stuck with me, and hopefully it'll stick with you and explain or help you understand all the stuff that I've explained there. So basically, we're talking about how humans change. Okay, so the example I used was a car journey. So you could think of how your body changes, whether it's negatively or positively. We'll think of it like a car journey. Okay, so most people, like the younger me, we don't even know that we're on a car journey. Okay, we don't even know it. Hence, we don't even know that our body is changing. Okay, so it's like we're asleep in the back of the car. This car is on a journey for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. We're in a big slumber in the back seat, and we're asleep. We don't even know that we're on this journey. And then it's only when we end up in a place that we don't want. The taxi man's waking us up and he's like, here's your destination. And for me, it's well, Mark, it's time to settle now. Your body's gone on this journey negatively. We've ended up here now. This is where you're at. Journey's over. Time to get out. So that's the way it is for most people. They'll just be totally unaware. They're in the back seat of the car. don't know where they're going, because if they did, they'd stop it straight away. So they don't know where they're going all the way down, and eventually then they reach a point where the driver's like, yeah, this is where we are. So rather than just, giving up then and losing hope, what I'm trying to get people to do is think of it like GTA. Kick the motherfucker out of the car, you get in, you take the wheel, and now you decide where you're going to go. This is all I've done is, you have to just accept that you are where you are now. You've gone on that journey even if you knew it or you didn't, and that's where you are now. So there's only two options. Stay there forever. You've arrived in Tin Man City, you're going to stay there forever. Or you're going to kick that motherfucker out of the car, get in, take the wheel, start your journey back. Get on Physical Freedom Highway. As I said in the newsletter, it's going to be a long highway to get back, but what else are you going to do? What is the alternative? I've been in Tin Man City. It's not just about sports and everything else. It's quality of life. It's not a good place to be. So that's how I think of it. You get in, you take control now, kick the taximan out. Instead of being in the back seat, you're in the front seat now. You are deciding where the car goes. And it's not going to change overnight. This is part of the problem too. Okay, we realize all this, right, I'm in the car now. 6 weeks, am I there yet? 12 weeks, am I there yet? Were you 6 or 12 weeks going that way? No, you were fucking 10 years going that way. It's not, you can't just get back in 6 or 12 weeks. It's not going to take now the exact same time to get back, because we're on the highway now instead of the windy roads. We know exactly what we're meant to be doing, but it's going to take time. So that's eventually what I did. And once I actually realized, oh Jesus, they're saying I can't change. The only constant in the world is change, even with the body. I was just doing the wrong stuff, had the wrong environment. I can change it now, start educating myself on what to do, going to coaches, going to trainers. I felt such relief. That's how I describe it, is once I finally got on the highway back to physical freedom, even though I'm here, I want to be way down here, knowing that I'm going in the right direction. And I've heard that from clients so many times. They're like, only the first kind of 1 month, 2 months in or something, where they're starting to see bits of progress, and they're like, this is just relief, that look, I know I'm not where I want to be. It could be another 3 months, could be another year, whatever, but at least I'm heading in the right direction. And I understand exactly, because that's how I felt. I'm like, will this take 2 months? Will it take, for me, it took a year. It took 9 months to a year before I went back to anything. But as I said, I was in the knowledge that, look, I'm finally heading in the right direction. I understand how the body works now. I'm never going to let this happen again. I'm never going to let that happen ever again. And that's how I got into this. I got so passionate about it that I'm trying to show others, that everything that I've learned, so that they're not, hopefully that they're not going there in the first place, and second of all, that they're not staying there. So that's what I've done. And then it was a long journey back, but what did I do? Again, that's why the car journey is good. How long is the journey going to feel if you're every hour? How many kilometers have we done? How many kilometers are left? No, turn on a bit of music, enjoy the journey. Look out the window, start taking in the views, have a bit of fun with it. That's how you're going to enjoy the journey. Because think of it, let's say that journey takes a year. We won't know this until hindsight, but let's just say, looking back, the journey took a year. For that year, did you want to be the person who was constantly unhappy with where they were on their journey and frustrated, no matter that they were getting progress? Or do you want to be the person that was look, accepted it, and try to just learn as much as they could on the journey and enjoy it, and kind of be more at peace that they're heading in the right direction? That's who you want to be. Because I've kind of been both of those. I'm so much happier now. I'm not where I want to be with business, where I want to be with strength and all these other things, but I enjoy the journey now. I'm not worried about the destination or anything. It's look, I know I'm heading in the right direction, taking in the views, have the tunes on, having a good time, learning all I can, sharing all I can with you guys. And you're going to get there eventually. It's not about the destination anyway. Once you get there, you'll be like, where are we going to go now? You'll start the next journey. So yeah, that's how I think of it. That's how I think of the journey of progress. And I think of it like a car journey. Think of it for yourself. Where are you on that journey now? If we physical freedom over here, if we've Tin Man City here, you're somewhere here. Every human is somewhere here. You could be 3/4 of the way towards Tin Man City, and you're just realizing now you can go, oh fuck. And you're going to start turning it around. Maybe you're all the way here, doesn't matter, you can still go back. Or maybe you're not so bad and you're up here, but you still want to go back that way, So wherever you are on your journey, you need to just realize that now and think you've a lot more control over this than you actually realize. So we'll finish up with three kind of quick takeaways then. So the first one, stop treating the body like a machine. Stop treating your body like a machine. Look, we covered all that, so I won't go into it again in detail, but that is the first step. If we don't get over the first step and you think your body is like a machine, oh, I just have a broken part, I need this fix, never going to work. You're just going to keep going towards Tin Man City without even realizing it. Excuse me. So second one then, yeah, a bit of harsh truth here, but I've already, I suppose, been pretty harsh truths there on that journey, is understanding that your body is the way it is from the decisions that you made. And you just have to accept it. Like, your body is the way it is from the decisions that you made, even though, yes, we weren't informed properly to make these decisions. But same as me in that last consultation, time to settle. The world doesn't care. That's what it is. It's up to you to do something about it then. No one's coming to save us. So, but there's empowerment within that. Like, understanding you are where you are because of the decisions you made. So like I said in the newsletter, your old decisions got you here. Your new decisions can get you out of it. Like, break that down again. This is why I like to think logically about a lot of things, because when you break it down into fine details, you'll see how, yeah, it's like inevitable that I can actually improve here, because it's the same process that got me into it. Like, once you understand your decisions got you where you are now. So your decisions equals the change that you didn't like. It was the decisions. So if you want change, but a different type of change that you do like, what's going to be the factor for that? Your decisions. Do you see? So it's actually empowering. Like, once you dive deep enough into it, it's an empowering thing. Yes, we fucked up a bit. We made decisions we maybe shouldn't have made, whether consciously or subconsciously. But it's the decisions that made the change. So if I want to change things now, I need to just make better decisions based on better information, which is hopefully what I'm doing for you now. So yeah, that line just I was writing kind of came to me, but I'm going to keep that of like, yeah, your old decisions got you here. Your new decisions will get you out of it. It's the same process. So, and then the last point, yeah, was just viewing it like a car journey. That really helped me along my journey for mobility, for strength, for business, for everything else. And I just went into that in detail, so I won't go into it again. And yeah, then on the newsletter, I have a client example. I like to use real life examples for all the stuff I talk about, because I'm never going to be, someone sitting in an armchair here, telling all these stories and not experienced it themselves or not got these results for other people. It has to be backed up. It has to be backed up with some real life examples, or else why would you listen to me? I'll just be this guy, just talking. I love to talk, love philosophy, love psychology, love it all, but there's time for talk, there's time for action as well. For me, I follow both. If someone can talk and they can back it up with action, cool, I'll listen to you, see what you're about. So this is more on the action side. Dylan Luddy was the example here, where